Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're diving into the 22nd episode of my top 10 setups of the day. Before we get started, make sure that you like the video and subscribe to the channel to see more of these amazing setups. Our first setup comes to us from Eagle and is very nice, clean and simple setup. They've got a very large and impressive LG 43-inch 4K monitor, as well as a notebook next to the monitor that is used for work. For peripherals, you can see a HyperX keyboard with cherry red keycaps, a blue Logitech mouse, and a SteelSeries Arctic Pro wireless headset. In the PC below the desk, they've got a water-cooled i9 1050K, a 1TB NVMe SSD, and a GB RTX 3070 gaming OC. While at its core, this setup is very basic, this isn't necessarily a bad thing, and this setup still looks fantastic. My only recommendation would be for either a desk upgrade or maybe a few decorations on the wall. For our next spot, we've got this amazing floating build from Reddit is Life 24. On that insane custom floating desk, you can see a Dell monitor, a Logitech mouse, a Corsair mousepad, and a Corsair keyboard, which is quite the assortment of fun and high quality peripherals. Inside that Corsair PC case, you'll find an Intel i9 9900K, a GTX 2080 Super, and 16GB of RAM. I think this setup has a really strong start with the unique floating desk, but I would like to see a little bit more decoration go into this build, as well as mounting the speakers and the PC separately perhaps. Part of the reason for this is to make the desk feel a little less cramped, but it also might take some weight off it, as that desk is only mounted to drywall and could be at risk of breaking. Up next is this cozy and minimal build from user THEOBJECTUPSTAIRS. First and foremost, we've got a Battle Station classic in the form of a Calby desktop and Alex Draw's desk combo from IKEA. We've also got a dual monitor build with two individually mounted LG monitors, where the left monitor is ultra wide and the right monitor is 27 inches. On the right side of the desk, you can see the original poster's PC, as well as their MacBook, which is currently being held upright in the Omaton laptop stand. I really like the unique solution of using a pegboard to hold your miscellaneous tech, although it does stand out a bit in the bare room. Our number 7 spot comes to us from SMHPP, who's got a super modern and minimal setup. Their 2-monitor setup is super slick and well put together, with an MSI G271 monitor on the left and an Acer KG271 monitor on the right. These are individually mounted with two InVision single-arm monitor mounts, and both monitors are mounted right next to each other for an almost seamless transition between the two monitors. Below the monitors, you can spot an Apple wireless keyboard and wireless Apple mouse. While I'm normally a big proponent of decorating the area around your setup, I think the minimalism of this build really helps make it clean and feel like a fantastic place to get some work done. Coming up next, we've got this battle station dedicated to making music from user TSM Humphrey, who you can find on Bandcamp or SoundCloud as Sakurai. On the desk, you'll be able to spot two mounted AOC monitors, a Logitech mouse, and what looks like a pair of white Kali Audio LP6W Studio monitors. I'm really impressed with the work done on the desk to get that keyboard to fit. It seems like a super convenient and ingenious way of storing a relatively large instrument. Up on the walls, you can see a variety of album covers and art, which mesh well with the various anime girl statues around the desk, and it really makes the whole setup feel complete. For our number 5 spot, we've got another wall mounted setup with some gorgeous lighting courtesy of user DAVECHENG. This setup probably has the most beautiful natural lighting that we've seen, with this stunning sunrise glow. On the mounted desk, we've got an Asus ProArt PA248QV monitor with a light bar attached to the top, but instead of the popular BenQ light bar, they're actually using a Xiaomi Mi Ha screen bar. The desk is left very minimal and clean, which helps keep the small desk from feeling cluttered or cramped. In front of the desk, you can also find them using a Herman Miller Aeron stool for their chair. The lighting, plant decor and minimalism of this build all work together really nicely to create an incredibly peaceful and inviting environment. If you aren't looking too closely at this next setup from Dan from 1996, you'd be forgiven to think that they've got a window into a forest instead of a monitor. That insane monitor is of course from Samsung, and whilst ultra-wide screen monitors can look hit and miss, the expert use of the wallpaper in this build makes it look an absolute hit. On the left you'll see a Zephyrus G14 laptop being dwarfed by the ultrawide, but it certainly isn't anything to turn your nose at. It's got a Ryzen 4900 and a GTX 2060, which is more than powerful for everything that the OP uses it for. Down below these screens you'll see a comfy looking Fellows wrist rest right next to that Razer mouse. This setup is certainly stunning, but I would love to see that mountain poster centered over the desk, as it makes the build feel a little bit lopsided. Our next setup comes from DOWNMENTED, and it is a little bit more RGB heavy. They've got two Dell monitors mounted to the wall with a Wally TV wall mount, which we've seen several people use recently as a monitor mount. Having both monitors off the desk gives the whole desk a super clean look and gives you more than enough room for peripherals such as their Logitech mouse, Logitech mousepad and Corsair headphone stand. To add to the LEDs on the desk, they've got a very unique wall setup with the ever popular nano leaves. This setup was submitted by 21CVBGE and is absolutely stunning. They've got a very cool looking double stacked monitor setup with a Samsung T55 27-inch monitor on top and a Videotek GN34C 34-inch monitor on the bottom, both mounted with an ER Gear dual monitor mount. Their peripherals all match the wallpapers really nicely with a Corsair mouse and Razer Huntsman tournament keyboard that both have some nice blue RGB. I'm sure you've also noticed that this desk is taking advantage of the iconic countertop and IKEA Alex Drawers combination. For our number one spot, we've got another music orientated setup, this time from BUTTEREDGS. We've got a stunning triple monitor setup that appears to be made from two Dell monitors and a large TV on top. You can also see a tablet as well as a Mac Mini below the monitors. The glow of this setup from the RGB and the wallpaper give it an awesome futuristic vibe that must be perfect for writing or recording music. All in all, this seems like a dream setup for anyone trying to make some music. And that is the end of today's list. Check out the description for a list of a lot of the gear that I've mentioned in the video. If you want to see more of these incredible setups, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe with notifications on so that you don't miss the next episode. Leave a comment down below on which setup you think should have been number one.